Hey guys, welcome to the 2,000 round review of the Walther PPS. Spent a lot of time with this gun, and so has Thea Van Syke.
He can't even remember my name. This should be the Thea and Barrett show.
Okay.
Welcome to the Thea and Barrett show.
So we're going to talk about the shootability, the reliability, and of course the price of the Walther PPS, and also give you a woman's perspective while we're at it, because we all know that's a selling point. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with the gun, let Thea talk about hers, then we're going to talk about the shootability, the reliability, the features, and of course its price. So right out the gate, I was really happy with Walther. They sent me this sucker, so I didn't pay for it or anything like that. They sent me 2,000 rounds with the gun through Buffalo Cartridge, and I really appreciate them and everything that they've done in order to just make sure I got some ammo to shoot, because we can get you 2,000 round reviews faster if I've got bullets to shoot through guns. So we want to thank them for that. Primarily, my experience so far with the gun has been nothing but positive. Where I point the sights and where the sights communicate to me and what the trigger allows me to do is be accurate. So for the 7-round subcompact carry gun, I find that my experiences with it so far have been excellent. Let's ask Thea what she thinks.
What's up, guys? So for a subcompact pistol, this gun feels great and it shoots great. It fits in your hand really nicely, and it doesn't have the same snappy feel that most subcompact pistols do, which I think is really nice. And especially since I have smaller hands, not just being a woman, but I have child-sized hands, it fits in my hand really good, and I feel like I have great control over the gun. And like Barrett says, the sights, it's like wherever you put them, you know that's where your bullet's gonna go, which is really nice. Overall, I really enjoy shooting this gun, and I think it's a great option for a subcompact pistol, especially for a woman.
Let us talk about recoil impulse of the gun, getting into kind of like the shootability of it. So really, I guess how I describe the recoil is just like Thea said, there's no real snap to the gun. The smaller the guns are, the snappier they become. This is not really snappy. This has this kind of like this, the recoil impulse doesn't go to the frame and do this. It more like goes into the entire gun, so to speak. It kind of funnels up into the hand, and it just kind of makes this like, yeah, the muzzle jumps just a tad bit, but it's only because I'm just kind of more relaxed right now in shooting. But it just feels really nice to shoot. I've shot this gun probably about 300 or 400 rounds in one sitting, and after that, my hands started to hurt a little bit. But other than that, I think the recoil impulse is really surprising for what you get in the small package. Talk a little bit about that recoil impulse.
Like I said before, to me it doesn't feel snappy. It doesn't feel like it wants to hop right out of my hands. The recoil feels like it's evenly distributed throughout the gun, and it's much more easier to manage.
I'm going to give Thea a break for a second and talk about the features of the Walther PPS. So some of the more noticeable things that you're going to notice is that the gun fits really well into my hand. Now, you take away this magazine and its extension, it's not going to be a very good day at all. In fact, yeah, pinky's going to come right off there. Now, some people can shoot guns without those things on there, without magazine extensions. I, for one, am just not one of those people that like to do it. The Walther has a surprising trigger. Unlike its other triggers throughout the rest of its guns, most of its guns, you press it, you have all that pre-travel to a wall that ends up closer to the actual frame, and then a short little trigger pull. This trigger, on the other hand, is different. You find a wall, you press through that wall slightly, and then you... Now watch this reset. It's one of my cons about the pistol. Look how far this reset is. The good news is you find that wall immediately when you go to press the trigger. Get that little hiccup right there, and then it goes. Reset. Ooh. Hiccup, there it is, and then it goes. So I've not found that the trigger helps me shoot very fast, obviously, but it does help me shoot very accurately. It's not one of those triggers that doesn't aid me in that. I'm actually quite accurate with the trigger and combination of the sights. This is not ambidextrous friendly, so the controls are specifically for right-handed shooter, right-handed mag release, and everything else. There's nothing on the left side for a lefty. Sorry, guys. So the grip and the grip angle of the gun is really helpful. It has a little bit higher of a bore axis, but not entirely too much that it's noticeable as far as we said with the snap of what the gun does. But I do like that. But one of the things that I don't like is I don't like how big this trigger guard is. It's like I can get my hand in here and we're good, but I feel like I want to get my hand up just higher up into here almost, but of course that would impede upon the trigger. But it just feels like it comes down just a little too much for me. It's not something that's a make or break of the gun, but it is what it is. And then we have the 3-dot system. We've got this combat sight picture. So after I have equal height and equal light between my back sight and my front sight, you know, that traditional thing, wherever the dot is where the bullet's gonna go. And I found that helps me considerably with accuracy when shooting this pistol. And we're back. Yesterday just got too rainy, so we're back for another day. What are we talking about today, Thea?
We are going to talk about the reliability.
That's right. Have you had any problems with the Walther PPS so far?
I have not. I have had 0 problems.
Well, how many rounds would you say that you've had through the PPS?
Oh man, quite a few.
Well, I don't know how about you and your experiences, but my 2,000 round review have not had a single problem. Light primer strikes, failure to feed, failure to eject, nothing like that with the issue with the subcompact, and I'm actually really impressed with the fact that it can go through so much. Now, I haven't put it through a sand test, dirt test, water test, anything like that, because I really don't know how to break it down and clean it just yet. And so before I get that detailed manual from Walther, which I'd appreciate that, guys, we will hold off on that. But if you really want it, I can do it for you for sure. So when it comes to like the accuracy, which I know people are going to ask, we got to understand accuracy is the combination of the sights being aligned on target, what the point of aim, point of impact is communicating to you as a shooter, and your ability as a shooter to press the trigger without moving the gun. That's what makes a gun accurate, right? But for all intents and purposes, this gun helps me be very accurate. I'm gonna show you a couple of clips here of me shooting at 25 yards on an A zone. And then we're gonna flip it over to the 4-inch disc here at 20 yards. So this has a really good ability as a gun to help the shooter maintain a reasonable amount of accuracy at a given distance. So Thea, I know that you've had some experience with the price before. How much are they?
Put me on the spot, Barrett.
I know.
Well, I'm pretty sure my mom picked one of these up for about $350. You can see them online for about $380. I think I've seen them anywhere from like $380 to $450.
Somewhere around there. So I'm sure you can get around the $400 mark, which is a really good mark for the subcompact PPS. But something else to consider too is this, like, the price is a really good selling point, mainly because one of the biggest questions people are going to ask is what we're going to explore right now, is why on earth would a person pick a Walther PPS over, say, a Glock 43? Well, we're going to jump into that now. So why would somebody purchase a PPS over a Glock 43? Now, obviously, this is a Guccified Salient Arms Glock 43 Tier 1 edition, but just going to show you the kind of the size comparison of what's going on here. So when we look, we can see that the barrel is a little bit longer on the Walther PPS. We can also see that even with the extended magazines on here, I don't know if you can see that, Thea, but there's a slight, it's slightly bigger. The Walther PPS is, as far as the pistol length, is slightly longer with the extended in there. You've got a 8-round extender Terran Tactical that you can get for your Glock 43, or I think even more than that, making this 8 rounds to carry. And then this is, or if you carry one in the chamber, that's additional. And this is only 7 rounds. So you get an additional round with the Glock 43. But I guess one of the trademarks is that the PPS is cheaper. PPS is cheaper. It has a better recoil impulse, in my opinion, than the stock 43. Probably not this 43, but the stock 43. Stock 43's trigger is also really, really one of the down thing, or the things that I don't like about the stock 43 is their trigger. So the PPS's trigger definitely has the stock 43 beat any day of the week, but the gun is larger. But the recoil impulse for this gun is, I feel like, 5 times better than the recoil impulse of the Glock 43. So let's crack open this PPS and look at it so we can see that the gun's unloaded, can't hurt anybody else around us. We're gonna hold down these 2 retaining little doodads there, I can't remember what they're called. And this is what you get. Pretty nasty after 2,000 rounds, wouldn't you agree? Probably. It's got a dual recoil spring. You've got this plunger safety right here, and striker fire, obviously. And a couple of other noticeable features, things I'm just seeing just right off the bat of opening this up. It's got this long rail here, which is one of the reasons why it feels so smooth when you pull it back, and the continuation of the rails up in here. But as you can see, just filled with dirt, filled with just brass shavings, filled with just general nasties, and yet the gun is working just fine. So even if you neglect your gun, and you don't have it, if you neglect your gun, so to speak, and you don't have it clean for a long time, you're still gonna do just fine. Safety checks, function check, functions just fine. Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining Thea and myself, Thea Van Syke. Follow her on Instagram at VanLeeThea. Right here. You can go follow her. It's not right there, it's right here. Whichever, it doesn't make a difference. You can go follow her. She's a cool chick. I totally dig her. Thanks for coming out and training with me someday. And thank you so much for giving us your insight, your invaluable insight on the Walther PPS. We hope that you enjoy her. If you want to go enjoy her more, go look at her up on Instagramming. Anything else you want to say?
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Again, true exodus, hold fast to the course, out.
See ya, friends.
I always have the last line.
Bye, friends. Not now. Not today.
Last line.